The NBA playoffs mean next level basketball. Get ready for all the action by betting the playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets instantly. If you would have done that on the Pelicans last night, you would have won $150. Remember that if you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use promo code BOOT, bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game during the playoffs, and you get $150 in free bets instantly. That's promo code BOOT at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 years or older, and if you or someone who knows that has a gambling problem like myself, crisis counseling referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Wow. Holy shit. I don't even want to do any introductions. I mean, we're presented by Company Burger located 4600 Forest Street. I got to get into it. I got Chaz, who has to bounce in like 10 minutes. I can't wait to get his thoughts. Got Five, who's taking something, breaking, he's eating. He's in camo, which is incredible. Lito, I mean, Lito, my guy, joining us. We have Ross joining later. We have Schmidt Dewitt joining. We are tied 2-2 going into Phoenix. Chaz, I'm going to start with you first. You know, you've been one of my favorite things about you is that you keep it real no matter what. You've been really, really hard on JV, and you've been really, really hard on Willie Green, and both showed out last night.
Absolutely. I think that's the, I always say this with both of those guys. It's like there's something there because they made it to this level, especially JV. Like I've seen you win this matchup several times before. This is probably the only favorable matchup for you on this roster. So you have to take the initiative and hit first. You have to strike first. Last night he did that. He didn't back down. Coach made some excellent adjustments. They didn't always work, but you could see the wheels turning. You could see the process with him trying to correct certain errors in the third game and the first game. So overall, I thought it was a great team victory. I thought it was a really good team victory overall.
Yeah, Five. We talked about it and we talked about it so much leading up to this game, but the adjustments from Willie Green were pretty simple, but they weren't. I don't want to say they were simple, but the way he mixed and matched certain defensive assignments last night, especially there in the fourth quarter, where sometimes you saw Chris Paul get blitzed, sometimes you were in drops, sometimes JV was a little bit higher up. Take me through what you saw from the adjustments from Willie Green last night.
I mean, it's like a quarterback, like a Hall of Fame quarterback. You're talking about Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and you can't really it's not nothing that they've never seen before. You're not gonna surprise them, but you have to keep them guessing because if you do that, they can make mistakes, and you saw that from Chris Paul last night. He is the point guard. I don't care what anybody says. He might be the greatest point guard for me. That's me. That's me personally. But he got confused last night. There was so many things thrown at him at once. He couldn't decipher it all the time. Yeah, some stuff didn't work. But you put a lot of effort and did a lot of different things. It wasn't like the same test over and over and over again. Like you mixed it up. And I think that was one of the keys to the game. Like you gave Chris Paul a lot to deal with. He couldn't just key in on one little thing and snake dribble and pull up or just pass. Nah, man, you threw a lot at him, and I think that definitely helped us.
Lito, me and your BI guys, we are going to get into him later, but I want to talk to you about the younger guys. Trey wasn't that great last night, but Trey didn't hurt you, and I think Trey will have a pretty big impact moving forward and hopefully in the second round. But Herb Jones and Jose Alvarado, you can't say enough about them. What they bring defensively and every single night, how they don't hurt you as a rookie is truly incredible.
Like we said last week, you got 3 rookies playing big minutes on a playoff team. It's something that you don't.
We got to mute him because hold up, you got audio technical difficulties. We'll throw it to Chaz. So let him fix it. Chaz, Jose Alvarado, Herb Jones.
I think those guys, just like we all talk about Fred Vincent. Like he can't work with everybody. You need some people who are already shooters to come here. Same thing happens with people with playoff mentalities or just that dog intensity because the staff for the most part, Willie is for the most part pretty reserved. You know what I mean? So you need guys like Herb and Jose who aren't backing down. They're high intensity guys. We haven't even seen the best Trey yet. You know what I mean? So we know that's going to happen at some point. But what Jose did and what Herb did is immeasurable. For Jose to follow up the game he had in Game 3 with this game last night, it's more than anyone could ask for.
Yeah, I mean, 5. In rookies and playoffs, you see usually some rookies shy away. Herb Jones and Jose Alvarado have done the opposite. And even Trey Murphy shooting with a lot of confidence. He's been incredible in this postseason run. But take me through, as you say, point guard, Chris Paul, and I agree with you. I think he's the greatest point guard to ever play. But Jose Alvarado doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. He's the best point guard to ever play this game. Like, that mentality, that mindset is something that this team hasn't had for a really long time.
Because it's basketball. They just like to play basketball. These are basketball players. Like, I don't see Trey Murphy as like a one-trick pony. I don't see Jose Alvarado as, the only move he got is still in the basketball. Like, no, he makes basketball plays. I think Herb is probably one of the smartest rookies I've ever seen. I don't know if there's maybe Magic Johnson's the other one. I don't know. Like intellect is a skill in itself. And I think he's come in to a point where, like, he understands basketball at such a high level, everything moves slow for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be crazy if somebody doesn't have him on an all defensive team. Like, I think he should be first team. That's just me being biased. But if he's not on an all defensive team, like, we have a huge problem in the NBA where we're not evaluating what we're seeing anymore. Everything is just numbers based. They don't care. Like, we're not watching basketball at this point. We're just getting notes from somebody that's saying, hey, this person had, this, and they guarded this person, and then they're on this team, which are with, like, nah, man, watch the games. It's gonna tell you. But our rookies have been like insanely good to a point where we just didn't expect it. We just didn't.
And the experience that they're gaining from getting major playoff minutes is only going to be beneficial down the road. Lito, how are we doing with sound? Can you talk? Let's see what we got.
Can you guys hear me? Am I clear?
Yeah. You're good, brother. All right. So we're over Jose and Herb because Chaz and Five just talked about it. Let's talk about your guy. Let's talk about Brandon Ingram, because he's turning into he's a superstar. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't give a shit. I was talking to one of my best friends last night, and when I was growing up, one of my favorite players was Tracy McGrady. T-Mac was special around the mid-range, but T-Mac was really more athletic than Brandon. But I remember T-Mac's, when he would get to the baseline and hit that, kind of little shimmy with the fadeaway baseline jumper, it was automatic. And Brandon is turning into that. Like, he's getting to the junction of the baseline, and it's basically a layup for him. And I feel for Mikal Bridges. I mean, he is doing everything in his power, and it doesn't matter.
So first off, shout out to Jay Crowder for flailing around trying to fuck my sound up. That shit won't work like it did on the court, brother. This about to be super New Orleans. Jay Crowder, Mikal, Justin. You know what those are? Those are little boys. That's a little boy. Brandon is a grown man. That man is shooting over a chair. That man is in. I tweeted this last night. Brandon in the fucking Matrix right now. He took both the pills. Ain't no red or blue. He took both them bitches. He fucking turned up. Brandon Ingram splitting the defense. You know what I'm saying? He going through the defense. Torrey Craig, was you even there? Why is you even in the game? Don't stand next to Brandon Ingram right now. That man is on fire. There's no answer that they have for him. Brandon is playing outside of his fucking mind. I'm so happy to see it. Like, I'm just so happy to see it. Like, he's coming. His potential is coming to fruition, and for us to take that next level or keep. I mean, dog, we talking about this is his first playoff game. This is his first playoff series. Look at what he's done in the games that he's played. Look. I think he's averaged 27 the series, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought he was up to 30. Did I read that wrong?
Nah, he had 3 straight 30-point games.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
even better.
Yeah.
That's even better. Listen.
Anthony Davis never did that.
Bro, listen.
Never did that.
my agenda, my BI agenda, I'm honestly about to be done with it and put it up on my shelf. I no longer have to push this agenda.
Yeah.
I heard Brandon Ingram MVP chance in the fucking blender. I heard MVP chance.
Nah, man, talk about who he dapped up after the game. Bump all
Come,
that.
oh my God. Oh my God. Listen, you talk about dreams coming true. Actress. I don't know if you guys know him as actress, but
B.
B
B.
Stunner, Birdman. The man came to town to see the king. He said, "Bi, you know what? I was trying to buy the Saints. They wouldn't let me do it. I wanted to put platinum eyebrows on chicks. They wouldn't let me do it. But what I will do is sit front row at this game, and I'm gonna dap you off and let you know, like, yo, this your city. Yo, I know we put Brandon Ingram in the 7th ward, and I had to slow down because last night after he challenged Chris Paul to a fight, I said, yeah, he's from Uptown, man. He from
Oh
Uptown.
my God. I love that. No, Chaz, I know you gotta go because I want to get a couple more thoughts on that because what's impressive, and I definitely want to talk about that, Lito, because Five had pointed that out earlier. You know it's in him, in Brandon, right? That like fuck you mentality. I'll go take you out in the back and beat the shit out of you. But Chaz, it's his first playoff series. Usually you see guys in their first playoff series flop or struggle or they're not used to the speed or the physicality or whatever it may be. Brandon has just gone off. He's gone off.
You know, I think even despite it being his first playoff series, this is a pause right here. But the cream always rises to the top. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a couple of veterans on this team who, you know, everybody was excited about getting, and them dudes have been not awesome the last few games. And I'll leave it at that. They've been not awesome. So Brandon, he understands the climate. He understands what's going on. I don't think that experience shit matters. I think when it comes down to it, people with that mentality, that killer mentality, and the skill set to accomplish what they're to accomplish, and he's not intimidated by anybody. All that, you know, they're throwing different looks at me, they're trapping me. Well, you're just gonna have to do it all night. Like he's out there like, yo, I'm the best player on the floor. I deserve to win this game. We should win these games. And that's the mentality he's adopted. And you can see it's evident. You're not scared of Chris Paul. You're ready to punch him in the face. You're scared of Chris Paul. So like, man, hit him twice. You ready to hit him twice. You know what I'm saying? They already jumped Chris Paul. There's nothing Chris Paul could do. No one likes Chris Paul.
Well, so, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that. And Chaz, you have to go because just let me know. But I know Schmidt's about to come on here in the next couple of minutes. Five, you mentioned it. You knew BI had that dog in him, and you've been wanting to see that. You called for it, what, maybe 3 weeks ago. You actually brought up the moment when him and Chris Paul went at it, when it was the Lakers and Rockets. Is that right? When Rondo and he went at each other. Yeah. Tell me you seeing that moment, you know, I'll meet you out back kind of thing, what that showed you.
Man, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. He was at the game. But man, you can't sit there and look at Brandon. I think it's more so the crowd and the environment, like who was there. You got Birdman, you got Currency, all his partners. You got your family there. You got people in the stands. And I feel like that was the moment where he had to take New Orleans from Chris Paul. Like I really felt the pull, like, all right, Chris, stop with all the I love the city. You know what I'm saying? I always got love. Like, you don't have to do that no more. I got this. This is mine. You go to Phoenix. You in Phoenix. You had an opportunity to come to, you know, the Pels, and you chose to stay in Phoenix.
Yep.
Stay in Phoenix. We got this. And I feel like he took control last night.
Do you think that Brandon took the city away from Chris as you've been trying to preach?
I think it's the steps that, you know, because Chris got ties. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be facetious and be like, yeah, he took it completely. Nah, he gotta do something. He gotta surpass what Chris Paul did. He gotta do that consistently. It's that C word. Like, he gotta do that consistently. We need not just this moment, we need it again a following year, in another year. And then, but this was the start of it. Because Anthony Davis never did that. So, you know, this is the start of it.
Okay. Schmidt, Ross joined the show. Thanks for joining. Schmidt, let's get your initial thoughts. I mean, take me through the adjustments Willie Green made from game 3 to 4 and how it really affected Chris Paul. Oh, shoot. Hold up. We got to unmute you, Schmidt.
Okay, I got you. I'm here. I figured out this technology thing. Hopefully this works better than me in Spaces, because that does not work. But first of all, I mean, I think a couple key things is, at least for me, I've been a little more reactionary to losses than the coaching staff has. They lost that first game. I said, I don't know what they're going to do with Jackson. They lost the game at home the other night. I was like, man, these Jose minutes have not been great. But the staff said, okay, hold on. These minutes haven't been great for either of those players, but instead of just kind of taking them out from those situations entirely, let's see what we can change to make their job easier. And with Jackson, they got him on the move a lot. They got him switching out on the perimeter and just ramping up his activity. And then with Jose, they let him be the merchant of chaos that he is. And part of that was trapping Chris Paul and also just Herb, just doing Herb things all night. But part of that was also just knowing that, hey, Jose has done this all season long, so we shouldn't let like a 14-minute sample take us away from what he's been doing all season long. So let's give him another chance. Let's see if he can create some opportunities for the team. And, I can't remember the last time in Chris Paul's career that he's been forced into an 8-second violation.
I was just thinking about that. I want to get Ross's thoughts on that because we've grown up watching Chris Paul. Ross, what Jose Alvarado did last night to CP3, to, as Five said, probably the best point guard to ever play this game, and an undrafted rookie out of Georgia Tech coming in and affecting a playoff game and taking Chris Paul out of his game. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, it was impressive. I think what you saw, to Shamit's point, was kind of a culmination of the way he was defended yesterday. Because Herb provides his own set of difficulties for guys, just being a totally different defender than somebody Chris Paul sees, on a night in and night out basis. And then, you let Jose be who he was, and that's when he's most effective. Let him pick up full court. Is he going to pick up one or two, maybe tic-tac fouls, doing stuff that other guys don't do? Yeah. But the way he can change the momentum of a game and the way the crowd is reacting to the stuff the team is doing with just one play is different than just about any other non-star in the entire NBA, right? A star can get hot, make some buckets, and can change momentum. But for a guy like Jose to come in and do what he does and be able to affect the game like that without taking a bunch of shots, without handling the ball too much, is pretty impressive. And you saw that last night.
Yeah, Lito, I had a pause moment today on Twitter, and I purposely did that because I figured either Five or Chris Connor or one of y'all would tag me in it. But I said it's not fun for Herb Jones to be suffocating Chris Paul all game and then Jose Alvarado to come in and dry hump him for 94 feet. Of course, I know, Five. I know, it was a pause moment. But Lito, Chris Paul doesn't want to play that kind of game. He doesn't want to play that kind of pace game and have someone pick him up. It's one thing to be hounded by Herb Jones for the entire game. Then you get to deal with Jose Alvarado. I mean, take me through that as his mental state. It can't be fun, especially without Devin Booker.
First off, we have to pray for our brother Justin to get him some new wordage because we cannot have you writing out dry humping on a timeline like that. Like it was still morning when you wrote that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was
McDonald's
bad.
is still serving breakfast and you wrote it.
I'm gonna download oh my god, I'm gonna download the app that Five told me to get.
Man, but anybody who played basketball, or like if you don't even like not like as far as for a team or anything, even if you go to a rec center and you got somebody picking you up whole court, man, that shit is annoying.
Yeah,
it takes way more energy, to get the ball across half court to get into the offense. And then if you look at it from Chris's perspective, there is no other ball handler for him there's no outlet for him because there's nobody else who can create on that team. I know they have Cam, but in my opinion, he's kind of, maybe Justin has taken Cam out his game by talking to him on the sidelines, but there's just nothing there that Cam is doing. Hell, Devontae has canceled Cam out. If you look at that matchup, I think Devontae has won that matchup. But yeah, man, Chris has 36-year-old legs. He's got a lot of tread on those tires. He's a guy that has seen a whole bunch of things. And like y'all said to start the show, you just want to make it difficult for him. Like there's no actually stopping Chris, right? But you wanna make it difficult
Yep.
for him. You wanna give him a hard time getting into their offense. And those blitzes and switching up the coverages throughout the game was perfectly done by the staff. And Jose, controlled chaos, man. I'm so happy he finally got Chris with the sneak attack. Like I did not think it was possible. I didn't think that would happen.
He got him. I mean, he got him 5. I mean, listen, he's affected the series, but moving forward now 5 and get to Schmidt then Ross. It's a 3-game set. You know that the Suns are going to make their adjustments. The Pelicans need to make their adjustments as well. What are you looking forward to the matchups in game 5? You got to think. Listen, Chris Paul played 40 minutes Friday night, played 36 minutes last night, has to take a West Coast trip back. I mean, there's these rumors about having a left-hand injury. Hopefully Schmidt can maybe clear some stuff up about that. I have no clue, Schmidt. I saw your eyes lit up. I don't know. But 5, what are you looking forward to game 5 and adjustments that need to be made?
If you're Monty Williams, what other adjustment can you make? Like, I really don't know what your next step is, other than just making shots. Putting multiple. You don't have a lot of. And there's not really another word for this. You don't have a lot of ball handlers. Pause. There's really not. Even in the Stars, they don't. Like, oh, you gonna say dribblers? Like that's stupid. You don't have another guy that can possess the basketball and get into the lane and make plays. Like you don't have a lot of those. So you just have a lot of reactionary players. Like, oh, dribble penetration, catch, shoot. Dribble penetration, try to get to the rim. Like it's a bunch of that. Not necessarily give you the ball and get a bucket and we can play off you, because that's taxing on somebody like Chris. Like he got to dribble the ball up against Herb, and when Herb goes out, Jose Alvarado comes in, and it's the same impact. It may not be to the same degree, but it's the same impact. You got to do that every time. Like your mind just constantly churning. You're not even thinking about the play. And then you get in a pick and roll set, and then it's different coverages, and you got to make a play off that. They don't have enough. I don't know what the next step is for them, but if you're Willie Green, you're in a really good position to take advantage of this. I don't care if D Book's out. That doesn't bother me. I don't care if Chris Paul's other wrist is hurt. That doesn't bother me. Man, go in and attack. Do what you need to do to get this win. Continue to kill them on the boards. Take advantage of what you need to. If you make shots, you make shots. But attack at all costs, because they can't play like this forever.
Yeah, I mean,
can't.
That's a good point, 5. Schmidt, they last night you could tell there's a lot of more pace to their game. You saw Willie Green saying, get it up the court. Even, I think, Casey Hill was saying the same thing. Obviously pace has to play a big role here in game 5 and game 6 here coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different game when Brandon Ingram is able to attack downhill and he sees defenders on their heels rather than all of the Suns with all of their collective 10 eyes on him, loaded up, forming a wall. And then, they have to run their screening actions to kind of spring him open, and they're just throwing, huge wing defenders at him. So, yeah, I think not just Brandon Ingram, but part of what's made Devontae successful is he's getting open threes on their wide open catch and shoot opportunities because of how fast the Pelicans are pushing in transition. The Suns have to account for whoever's about to attack the rim, and then it's an easy kick out, swing, open 3 for Devontae. And it's huge that they've won the minutes with him on the floor, which is making a lot of Pelicans fans kind of eat their words, because we thought he would be unplayable this series. And it's, part of it is them not having Booker. It kind of lets the Pelicans off the hook a bit. They can match Devontae with the campaign minutes and the Landry Shamet minutes and just really not lose much. But, it's huge when you can dig deep into your bench, get guys who are making shots, and then, you're buying time for your stars. Because we still haven't had that CJ game yet. I think it's because Mikal's been on him, and part of the adjustment I think Monty's going to try to make is maybe they start doubling and trapping BI, which they've been trying to do, but maybe really as soon as he starts coming out of the half court. And the thing is, BI has been such a good passer. this season, and just being a beat faster than he was in years past, seeing those double teams come, accepting them, seeing where the weak points are, finding the exact pain point and delivering the ball accurately has just been part of the leap that he's taken. And if that's the adjustment Monty and them are going to make, then I expect a big CJ game on the way. I expect him, because he's had the game where he hit 6 threes, right? But
Right.
I'm talking about like that masterpiece, kind of like how he scored 38 earlier in the season, just like the second game that he played for the Pelicans. So I expect that. I heard Suns fans talking about trying to start Landry Shamet instead of Jay Crowder. I thought that's hilarious.
What?
I mean, I think it's hilarious because one, Jay Crowder, if they do that, the Pelicans, who are already rebounding almost half of all of their misses, are just going to destroy them on the interior. They're just going to destroy them on the glass. They're going to target Landry Shamet in every single pick and roll, every single screening action. And man, if you try to trap BI with Landry Shamet, like what are they going to do, man? It's so I do hope they start Landry Shamet. I hope they try it.
Yeah, Ross, to everyone's point, that's crazy to think about, that your second best player on the team hasn't even had a good game. And Ross, like the Pelicans, like if we're really, they haven't had a complete game yet. Like they got outplayed in the second quarter. I think last night was closest to the most complete game they've played. But Ross, if CJ has his CJ game, I can see this ending in 6 in New Orleans.
Yeah, actually, yesterday was interesting because I thought he manufactured some really good looks for himself. Some in ball screens, some in transition that he just missed. But I felt like yesterday he got some good looks, and he was overall really effective. He just didn't knock down a bunch of shots. But just to go back to that last point, yeah, I was, if I'm Monty Williams, I go the opposite of that. I think the Landry Shamet minutes have been a disaster. I mean, I feel like he's getting just abused sort of on both sides of the court, and I find we're not even really. I mean, we're almost letting him shoot. If I was them, I'd go the other way. I think they've got to find a way to get Campaign more minutes, just one from a ball handling perspective, and two, he's just feisty enough to maybe make a difference. But if I was trying to win the series and I was the Suns, I sure as hell wouldn't say more minutes for Landry Shamet. As a Pelicans fan, God, I hope they start him. I hope they play him 30 minutes a night, because I think that pretty much guarantees victory. But yeah, I think the CJ game's coming just based purely off of how he played yesterday. He's a great shooter. He's not going to miss some of the shots he missed yesterday forever. So, I'm at a loss for, as a Suns fan. I'm not just saying this as a homer. I think they're in trouble. I really do.
Yeah, Lita, hopefully your sound's not clipping too much. So I'm going to pitch it to you here. But we talk about, CJ McCollum's breakout game. We talked about, I think I talked about with 5, more getting off the ball. I feel like he didn't force last night. I didn't think that CJ played that bad. I also didn't think he didn't force a lot of shots last night. And he kind of made the right read and then hit the open man. But if Schmidt's saying this and Ross saying that, I mean, if they don't start Jay Crowder, I mean, how are you going to guard anybody on the court?
I mean, we haven't had that complete CJ game yet in these playoffs. Like, Schmidt has said and Ross has said, we haven't had that game where we can be like, yeah, that was Blazer CJ, right? But I do think it's gonna happen. To me, if I remember correctly, I think he kind of came out aggressive yesterday. He started off the game rather aggressive, but he, ended up being more of a facilitator, and just kind of like a vessel of getting the ball to BI. Look, and to Shamiz's point, I was reading some Suns. I was going through Suns Twitter. They were saying play Aaron Holiday over Campaign. So, hell, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, please, let's do it. But, I think they are in trouble. I don't know what they don't have the personnel to make other adjustments at this point.
Right.
With Book going out, like, it really throws a monkey wrench in it really limits what they can do. It's not I was going up and down that roster, like, What you gonna put Bismack Biyombo in? I don't know. Like I don't know what it is that
Well,
that
yeah, Lito, yeah, you make a good point. For me, the one thing they've had that's been unquestionably successful is going through DeAndre Ayton. And I mean, I thought he started great again yesterday, and then for whatever reason, he became a little passive. I mean, I think we were just doing a good job frustrating, Chris Paul and the guards. So they were struggling to get it to him. But I mean, they've got to go back to the drawing board and try to find a way to get him like 20 shots a night. I mean, he's been incredibly efficient. He's wearing us out with that little 12-footer. And I think Jonas has had kind of a tough time guarding him. Other than just a massive game from him, which, who knows, but other than a massive game from him, I like where we sit. But he's the one guy that is sort of done, at least offensively, almost whatever he's wanted to do. And the way we countered that yesterday was Jonas was just way more active on the offensive end and actually made him guard. So, that's one way to neutralize him a little bit, is to make him play defense. But yeah, he's the one guy that makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but it kind of reminds me of when Anthony Davis was on the Pelicans, and he would have like huge games and they'd be really, really efficient, but the team in general wasn't outscoring the other team. It wasn't, it was good for his offense. It wasn't good for the team's offense. And I think that's kind of like the big man curse a little bit, is when you're a high level play finisher, I think you can like really raise the ceilings of teams if you have those elite shot creators and guys who can create shots for others. And when Phoenix has both CP and Book, that's what they are, right? Yeah. And he's the perfect tip of the spear that can like put teams away. But when you take one of those shot creators off the table, it's, how much is Ayton going off in one-on-one situations really raising the rest of the team's offense, right? Because like outside of CP, they struggle to get him the ball. And it's not like he's putting up 20 shots a night. If he did, he'd be scoring almost 40 points because he misses 2 of them, So I think if they want to do that, the Pels would kind of live with Jonas guarding him in single coverage. I mean, what else can you do, right? Like if the second you start collapsing on him, sending doubles at him, you start leaving the shooters open, and you're inviting them to get hot this series when they've been shooting really poorly. And I think, they should probably stay the course in terms of chasing them off that 3-point line. If Ayton's going to be the guy that beats you, great. You tip your hat to him, and he's been remarkable all series. Like, they're not losing because of him. He's been really good. And people make a lot of the fact that Jonas is kind of eating him alive on the offensive glass. He eats everyone alive. I mean, that's not an Ayton thing. That's a team rebounding thing. That's your wings. That's Jay Crowder. That's Mikal Bridges. That's Cam Johnson. You guys can't be 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", and letting Ayton get chewed up like that. That's a team thing.
Yeah, good points. 5. One of the I guess complaints right last night was the Pelicans shot 42 free throws. The Suns shot 15. I know how this goes, where they're gonna be back in Phoenix. Chris Paul's gonna be flopping. DeAndre Ayton's gonna get the touch calls. Do you see that being a problem tomorrow? I was just thinking about it, because I thought the Pelicans were the more aggressive team. If there was an adjustment from the Monty Williams side, I would probably say, let's feed into Ayton, be more aggressive, get into the hoop. Is that something to worry about tomorrow?
You know how these things go. Coaches say something in the media,
right?
You're going to see an impact in the game. Like that kind of goes. But I think you put out something today that said the Pelicans are top in the league at
top 10
free throws. Right? Yeah, you're getting free throws. I don't want to butcher it. And the Suns have been like the 30th ranked team.
Yeah.
All right, that's who you are. You're complaining about something that you've known all season, but you're trying to just gain an advantage. That free throw disparity wasn't about non-foul calls that the Suns didn't get. Like, you got 6 free throws from Jay Crowder shooting. Like, you're a jump shooting team. You shoot a lot of threes. If you take those 6 free throws away, it's even worse. That's on you. Y'all shoot a lot of jump shots. And back to the DeAndre Ayton thing, it's not like his advantage on Jonas is always predicated on pick and roll, where he has Jonas running at him trying to recover, and he has the advantage. If you dump the ball into him and there's no pick and roll, he's just going one-on-one on Jonas, I think their offense is stagnant. If you're going to just rely on DeAndre to to create or score, and that's your filler, or that's the filler of D Book's points. I don't think that works. I don't see how that accomplishes their goal. I think they just have to be better on defense. If you're again, we're talking about the Suns, they have to be better on defense, create more turnovers because we are used to turning the ball over and get out and run in transition and then knock down threes. There's no other adjustments for them. That's kind of what I have.
Yeah, and just I mean, I don't disagree with you at all, or what Schmidt was saying earlier. I guess my point was that if I'm not saying it would work. I'm saying if I'm the Suns, it feels like your only real opportunity to win this series is to somehow get Ayton more involved, try to get Jonas in foul trouble, and sort of try to fix that disparity on the glass by getting Jonas out of there. But yeah, that is I'm looking at this through Monty's lenses here, and they're foggy at best.
Yeah, go ahead, Schmidt. Go ahead.
I think they have to become an anti-Monty Williams team. And what I mean by that, hear me out. What I mean by that, the hallmark of Monty Williams teams are they're not particularly fast. They don't shoot threes. And they play a very, pounded out, take mid-range shots type of game. And all season long, you look at their shot profile. They don't get to the rim a lot. They don't take that many threes. They're killing you because they're hitting long twos at an obscene rate. They don't get to the line, and they don't offensive rebound well. So they were the second best offense in the league just off the back of ridiculous shot making all year long. One of your shot makers is gone. The other is struggling, maybe hurt. No one knows what's going on. He took over those 2 games, but those other 2 games, he was kind of not as big of an effect, right? So when you look at what this offense has to fall back on, they don't have anything. The Pelicans always had free throw shooting, they're not very good at making them, but they get to the line, right? And they always had offensive rebounding. Rebounding was their superpower, right? This team has nothing. And the Suns need to become a team that runs and shoots a lot of threes, because the Pelicans do struggle to defend teams that are shooting a lot of threes. If they can find a way to generate looks for their shooters, get Cam Johnson going, get Cam Payne going, even get Mikal Bridges going, they can take advantage of a young team who isn't necessarily locked into that specific game plan. They're locked into you playing a certain type of way, and now you have to chase them across, to the 3-point line. I think that's the adjustment they have to make. I don't think Monty's going to make that adjustment. I don't think Monty's going to be like, hey, go shoot threes, have fun, put those shots up. It took Popovich how many years to embrace 3-point shooting? It's crazy, right? So these coaches are kind of set in their ways, and I think, I'm going back to DeAndre Ayton. The Suns are 10 points better on offense when he sits. That's nuts. That's nuts. He is not helping their offense, and part of that's just been who he's been matched up with and the minutes he's playing, the substitutions and stuff. But that's your potential max player, right? That's their number 1 overall pick. And if he can't lift an offense by himself, they're in trouble.
He's not getting that money, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, some team's going to pay him that money. Charlotte would pay him that money.
I can't believe Rudy Gobert paid $40 million. I that was shocked. I almost fell out of my bed when I saw that. I forgot about that contract. Insane. I was just big men and Lito. I know I got to get to you. So we talked about the Schmidt though, which is interesting because you say the adjustment would be play fast. If you play fast, I feel like you're playing right into our hands because, as Fab and Lito said last week, 37 years old, Chris Paul's their guy. He is the motor. He is the heart. He doesn't want to play that game. So Lito, if they do play that game, I'm sure they might play off hot. Maybe they get up. But in a 4-quarter game, in a 7-game series, as you saw, Chris Paul, I tweeted this out there, a couple nights ago. He played 40 minutes. He was not the same guy on Sunday.
Like I said last week, Charles Barkley brought up a very valid point, man. Those back-to-back games or on those 30-plus-year-old legs, you just cannot have the same effect on the game. And play fast? How are they going to play fast? I don't understand. I just don't understand what they would do. Just to piggyback off what Schmidt and Fly were saying, they're a jump shooting team. So the free throw disparity, I don't even understand how you complain about that. We're actively attacking the rack. I don't see Cam Johnson putting the ball down and trying to get, to the, he's not creating anything off the dribble. I
And they
feel
don't
like,
rebound. You can't run if you
and they
don't
don't
rebound.
rebound. Exactly. Like, like run how? Like run to the locker room? I don't know where they running to. But and the other thing too, like I just wanted to hop in on the Aiden point real quick. Man, Shamit said something, and I've been holding this tweet in for weeks. He reminds me. I'm not saying he reminds me of AD as far as like playing ability, but he scores a lot of empty points to me. He scores points that don't affect the game in a way where like it doesn't lead to winning basketball. And then I'm not saying that he won't ever, but if you look at the first half, he usually dominates, and then for some reason they just go away from him or the ball just doesn't come back to him. Um, and I'm taking that one-on-one versus Jonas every day of the week. I'm so cool with that. If he gets 40, I'm cool with that, man. Like that to me, like that doesn't mean we lose.
Like teams, he doesn't make teams adjusting. Teams, like I said, they live with him. If he's cooking them one-on-one, great. If Jonas is cooking you one-on-one, teams are setting 2 or 3 at him, right? Because he's cooking you. He's getting every offensive glass. He actually forces coaches to adjust. Yeah, man, I just don't think that you're right. I just don't think he moves teams. The coach is like, all right, cool. If he's going to get 10 dunks, we live with it.
Justin, I know you're bending down over there, but I had a question.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll carry it.
No, I was just going to say, so, I mean, the Pelicans have had, somebody off the bench has been pretty meaningful, for the Pelicans every game this series. Obviously, game one, I think it was Larry Nance game 3. It was some kind of combo of Trey Murphy and Devontae hitting a couple big threes. And then, yesterday, everybody saw what Jose Alvarado did. And really the whole team yesterday, but Alvarado kind of changed the game with his minutes there in the second half. Who are you looking at in game 5 in Phoenix off the bench that's going to possibly be the difference?
You said me?
I don't know if yeah, go ahead. I think we lost Justin, it looks like.
Oh, see, I would have to go campaign. Like I would have to, because
I'm saying for the Pelicans.
I say that's Trey Murphy and CJ. The ability to stretch the floor. Younger, athletic Trey, great rebounding. Like last night, he had a rebound and a foul, almost an and-one. And he was trying to get the crowd involved. Like, I think he wants this. I think like you can sense the energy from him. Like, all right, I want to play in these games. Like I want this. And he had a big game last time in Phoenix. Ain't nothing like going back, especially for a young player. Ain't nothing like going back to a place where you know the rims now. Like, oh, I had a good game here. Yeah. This is what I want. I think it's a Trey Murphy game next game.
I'm glad you said that, because I feel like Trey Murphy's had just a massive impact in all 4 games, and it hasn't shown up really in as a if you're just looking at who's scoring how many points, but he's made an impact in every game, and I feel like you're reaching that culmination where it's going to show up. He's going to knock down some big threes in game 5, because he to me has made the most, I won't say the biggest impact off the bench, but we've been pretty damn successful in the minutes he's been out there in these first 4 games. And I'd like to see. Yesterday we kind of got ahead a little bit, and I think he only played 15 or 16 minutes, but I think that game's coming. I think it's coming.
Shamit, can y'all hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something happened to mics in the studio, so I just went on my laptop. But Shamit, you tweeted something out. I think it might have been Saturday morning. We were talking about his on-off rating with Trey Murphy. Go ahead and explain a little bit about that.
Yeah. So actually, let me pull up the stats, like the most recent stats here right now. Okay. So right now, the Pelicans have an offensive rating of 128.8 when Trey Murphy's on the floor. They have an offensive rating of 107.7 when he's not on the floor. So they're 21 points per 100 possessions better when Trey Murphy's on the floor. And what that essentially means is, even though he's playing limited minutes, the Pelicans are scoring at such a high rate they're essentially blowing out the Suns in the minutes that Trey Murphy plays. And that's wild because you look at Trey's stat lines, he's like, oh, yeah, 2 shots. Or, he went 0 for 2. Or maybe he went 1 for 4. Whatever it is, it's like, well, this guy, how can this guy who is not scoring all that much impact the game in such a way? Well, it's because someone has to account for him at all times. When they put him in that corner, those help defenders that have to reach across and tag the low man, or they have to help contain any of the drives, they can't do that. And Willie Green, being part of that Monty system, runs a lot of the same stuff the Suns run, where they pull the help guy out of the corner, they lift him up, and so it becomes harder to help. And when you have a guy like Najee Marshall out there, doesn't matter where he's on the court, you're going to help off him, right? When you have Jackson out there, doesn't matter where he's on the court, you're going to help off him. When you have Trey on the court, you can't do that. And what that does is it gives guys like CJ and BI more one-on-one looks. And then it gives their bigs, whoever's on the court at that time, freedom to crash offensive glass. Because, again, it's just another body that's not in the paint. And so it's been this way for over a month now where, Trey comes in and the stars that are on the court with him just get hot, or someone gets hot, and the Pelicans just, outpace whatever team they're going with. And so I think it's going to be super interesting to watch moving forward, especially if Big Z comes back. Because if Big Z comes back and you give him a shooter like Trey, and they can't collapse the paint on him like that, you put him in those same lineups that Larry Nance is out there with. You give him all of Najee's minutes, right? So it's like CJ, BI, Zion, Trey, and Larry Nance. Oh my gosh!
Shamit, I'm not trying to cut. Are you trying to hint at something here? Like, is there something that you know that we don't know, or is this
man? No, I can just fantasize. I'm just a hoop fan, man. I just need to see this lineup on the court. And the other thing is, like, when you space the floor out like that for Z, like, he's already the best person, maybe best in history, getting his own misses, right? Like, I mean, doing the Karl Malone thing. Was it Karl or Moses Malone who did it? Anyways, but yeah, so he's one of the best players in history getting his own misses, and you space the floor like that for him, it's game over, man. Those units are just gonna score 1 million points a minute.
Yeah. Oh no, it'll be a joke. So we're gonna this will be the last thing, and then we'll head out. But I'll start with Ross, then we'll go to Lito, then Schmidt to end it. But Ross, give me your prediction Game 5, because it's a do or die for the Suns, not necessarily the Pelicans.
Yeah, again, I hate doing this because I don't hate doing it, but it just makes it sound like we're just a big homer. But I really think there's a formula here, and we found it. For me, it's simple. If we score 100, Pelicans score 110 points and we win. I think it's just getting out, running, and making them play defense, making them. I mean, they got tired, they got worn out. I think if we come out, rebound the basketball, and run, I think we win.
Lito.
Pels in 6. We're definitely winning the next game, and then the shit is over.
The shit is over. Schmidt.
Yeah, I said it's going to be a CJ McCollum game. I'm sticking with it. I think it's a big night for him. I think he's going to get hot very, very early. He's going to have a big first half. That's going to cause all kind of rotation adjustments from Monty Williams, all kind of scheme adjustment coming out of half, and that's going to let BI and Jonas and all those other guys get hot the second half, and that's it. That's going to be the game.
Damn. So we're literally in agreement saying Pels in 6, which is insane to think about. We had 5 on, Chaz on, but thanks to Schmidt, Lito, Ross. Go ahead, bro. You wanted to say something?
No, I did. I just wanted to say that the only thing that I'm a little worried about is the quick turnaround on the travel. 9 p.m. game or whatever. Another one of these stupid late starts for granted, the Suns have to have the same travel for this one. They're not just sitting at home. But that's the only thing that's making me nervous. So I really am hoping CJ comes out hot. I just hope we're not sluggish in any way. It's a quick turnaround, long flight, but the Suns have to do the same thing. So I'm with you.
With Chris Paul, they'll do the same thing. And Chris, the minutes really weren't that bad last night for the Pelicans. 36 from BI, 35 from Herb, 33 from JV, 36 from CJ. CP once again logged 35. Mikal Bridges 41. So it's gonna be interesting. But Once again, tomorrow night, tip off at night. Do you want to say something, Schmidt?
Yeah, just one last thing is that the Pelicans have been playing with their backs against the wall basically for the last 2 months, right? I mean,
Seriously.
definitely every single game since the trade deadline. The Suns have been front running. They've been load managing players. They've had nothing really to play for. They've never really been in this position where like, oh my gosh, we're playing for a lot. So like, yeah, I definitely think that the quick turnaround is going to be a factor, but we can't overlook how much of a factor it's going to be for the Suns because they haven't been in this position all season. They haven't had to be, you know.
That's true.
And I just like to add on to the end of that. I said last week, or not last week, but the other day, I said that you're playing with a bunch of young guys who don't know what they don't know, and they don't know fear. Like this is normal. Like this, Herb coming in, Trey, Jose being rookies coming into this environment. Like this shit is normal. Like this is, they come into playoff basketball, and I just feel like I just think we're in a good position, man. I think we're gonna shock the world.
I agree. Pels and 6. I'm with you on that. So once again, shout out to Company Burger, located at 4600 Barrett Street, and also DraftKings, the official sports book betting partner of Boot Crew Media. Remember, new users use code BOOT, bet $5, you automatically win $150. It's very simple. So once again, Schmidt, Lito, Ross, thanks for joining. See y'all tomorrow night.
Peace.
Pels
Pels
and
and
6.
6.